Switzerland is so clean, don't you think? It's a great source of national pride, cleanliness. They say you could eat your breakfast off the sidewalks. Œufs au trottoir, eggs on the pavement. Ah, but you understood, of course. A top Nemesis agent would be fluent in, what, 5, 6 languages? You're home, George. Back where you belong. Oh, George, you forgot this. Goodbye, George. Allons.
Oh, yes, we are well aware of how explosive the Middle East problem is. Brady. Look, I am so sorry. Will you hold on 1 second? George!
George, old buddy, where you been? Been worried sick about you. 2 days without a signal and...
Richard Barrett, one of the champions, possessing with Craig Sterling and Sharon McCready incredible powers. Survivors of an air crash in the mountains of Tibet, where they met a people of an unknown civilization who mended their bodies and endowed them with fantastic skills. Skills that include dexterity and control. Now, with the extent of their powers, a secret known only to them, they are able to use their super qualities to their best advantage as champions of law, order, and justice, operators of the International Agency of Nemesis.
George? George? Can he hear me?
He can hear you, but whether he can understand you...
How long has it been like this?
Since 9:42 this morning, when he walked into this building, took out his issue 38, and pumped 5 rounds into Colonel Corsten.
Hey, George. Hey, George, it's Craig. Like a fish. It's like a fish on a slab.
Not all the time. There are moments when he becomes quite violent.
What's wrong with them?
Nothing organic, that's for sure. We've run all the usual tests, all negative. I don't know what to do. I've never seen anything like it before.
Well, but what is your problem, Amos? Come on, you two. We've got to concern ourselves with the why and the who.
The why and the who?
You two know as well as I do that George Brady was one of the best operators we had. I don't believe for a moment that he just had a brainstorm. But this didn't just happen to George. I'm quite certain that it was engineered. Somebody made it happen. Well, we'll have to start by backtracking. He disappeared for 2 days. That means we've got to find out just exactly where he was during those 2 days. You know, retrace all his movements, starting from when he left his apartment.
Last Wednesday morning, according to his wife, he was on his way here, start of a routine day. I've been getting ahead on the briefing, sir. I know George better than anyone else.
Longer. You've known him longer.
Well, having firmly established our esprit de corps, may we now get down to business. Sharon, have a talk with his wife. See if there's anything that she's overlooked. Craig, George would have driven from his apartment here, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he could have bought some cigarettes or a paper.
Yes. Somebody might have spotted him. Check up on it. Richard, you seem to like files. Here's Brading's current assignments. Go through them with a tooth comb. A very fine tooth comb. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Just a minute. Tremaine here.
Internal security, sir. We still haven't been able to locate that briefcase of yours.
I see. Okay, thank you. Now remember, it's the why and the who, and particularly the who.
You know, I really rather miss poor George. He was so fastidious. You know what I mean? Neat. Well turned out. Took good care of himself.
Not enough care.
Yes, of course. But a man of good background. We are setting our sights high, aren't we? Very high indeed.
Hello, Mrs. Brading.
Hello, Loretta. How is he, George? Has there been... His condition's unchanged, I'm afraid. But you could help us a great deal if you go back over the morning he disappeared. You might have overlooked... Please, I want to see him now. Yes, of course. George. He's gonna be all right, isn't he? He's got to be. You've got to help him now. You've got to. We all are, Loretta. You can help too. Telling us what happened that morning. The morning he disappeared. George! Oh, George!
Please, Mrs. Brading, you'd better get her out of here.
Come on, Loretta. There's nothing you can do here. Come on. I won't. You can't help it. Please, Loretta. That morning. It's just a normal day. It's perfectly normal. About 10 o'clock, I went to the door with him. Kissed me. And he went out to the car and threw his briefcase in the back. He turned and waved and... No briefcase. There wasn't any briefcase. He lost it the day before. And then he got in the car and he smiled and then he drove off. I didn't see him again for 2 days. And then you telephoned and said Kill or somebody. It was just a perfectly normal day.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Last Wednesday. I guess that must have been the time. Wednesday morning, about 10:30.
George Brading was here then?
He wanted a quick oil change.
Did he say anything else?
Oh, yes, I can remember the conversation exactly. Pierre, he said. That's me. I'm Pierre. I was named after a great uncle, you see. He lived very far away.
Pierre. What else did Brading say?
Pierre, he said, I want a quick oil change.
Did he mention where he was going? Say anything else at all?
Well, we may have talked about the weather. Oh, but he's very pleased about the briefcase.
What about the briefcase?
Oh, it had been lost, you see, and he'd heard it was found again.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
I'm going to snatch a quick lunch now. Barbarella's if I'm needed. I'll be back before 2.
Yes, sir.
Monsieur Tremaine, forgive me, monsieur. I believe this may be your property?
It certainly is.
The contents are at headquarters, Sector 13, along with the man who stole it.
Stole it? But I thought...
Would you be kind enough to help us with an identification, monsieur? It will take us no more than a few minutes.
Well, okay, but we'll have to be quick.
Klein. Lieutenant Klein. We appreciate this, monsieur, very much.
What's the name of the man you're holding?
That we do not know. We are hoping that you might be able to tell us when we reach headquarters. Captain.
Yes, sir.
If you would be kind enough to take a seat, monsieur. I won't keep you a moment. This way, monsieur.
Mr. Mayor.
Thought he was with you.
No, I locked myself away in not quite the smallest room in the building, and for nothing, not a single lead.
Yes, sir.
Is Tremaine around?
I'll code him for you.
What about you?
Dead end.
Negative.
Hello, sir.
Yeah?
He doesn't seem to be in the building. He hasn't been seen since lunch.
What time was that?
About 1 o'clock.
Where was he lunching?
Barbarella's.
Check when he left, please.
Yes, sir.
1 o'clock. That's almost 5 hours ago.
And Barbarella's is just round the corner.
Well, maybe he went on to an appointment or something.
Without checking in. Tremaine. Yeah?
Barbarella said they haven't seen Monsieur Tremaine at all today, sir.
Thank you. I'll contact security. Hello, security. This is Sterling. Look, I want you to make a routine check on Tremaine. He left here about 5 hours ago, hasn't been seen since. Accident? Yeah, could be. Last known destination was Barbarella's.
Hey, hold it.
Hang on.
Oh, Salam. He's here.
Forget it. Thank you very much.
Now, Tremaine, we're going to have to give you a very severe tongue lashing.
Breaking the rules like that?
We really were very worried.
Hey, Tremaine, only foolish.
I'll get Dr. Amos.
Sir?
Dr. Amos, come quickly.
What is it? What's the matter?
Amos!
Identical to George Brading. A peak of violence, the sudden urge to kill.
Yes, but to kill just one man. He walks straight into his office, he sits down, and he waits for you, Doctor. You are the chosen target, nobody else.
Like Brading. He must have passed about half a dozen people, but he kept on going right to Corsten's office.
It's like a guided missile homing in. Okay, so what does it? Well, what's wrong with him?
Some kind of drug, that's part of it. A psychedelic drug, I'd say, hallucinatory. Hits the brain, a terrific jolt, and then it starts disintegrating.
Yeah, well, okay, but certainly there's got to be one drug to combat another one.
If we knew what we were fighting.
We need a sample of whatever's been pumped into him. One that's large enough to analyze, and one that we can break down into its coordinates.
Then we might find the answer.
How are you making out with George Brading?
Not good. He's been like this for the past few hours now. All we can do is keep shoving stimulants into him and hope that... 2 grains, quickly.
Somebody's gonna have to tell his wife.
I'll do that.
What a way to go. Hey, Doctor, you said he'd been missing for 2 days, right?
Yes, I wondered when you'd get around to that.
And yet Tremaine was in the same condition. He was only gone for 5 hours.
There's only one answer.
Yes, they gave Tremaine a larger dose.
The why and the who. That's what Tremaine would have wanted, and we're no better off than when we started.
The why?
Hey, look out.
Oh, pardon, monsieur. Pardon.
What is it, Craig?
Huh? No, it's nothing. I just thought for a moment. It's nothing. Where's Richard?
Why? You know he went out to backtrack on Tremaine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sure he did. No, it's nothing. It's nothing at all.
Any luck?
No. Tremaine stepped out of this building, he might just as well have stepped off the edge of the world. No trace of where he went or why. Ah, it's a stalemate.
Well, that finishes it.
No, it doesn't. George is dead and Tremaine's dying. Do you think that he'd give up, that he'd sit back and call it a day if it were one of us? No, he'd push us to the limit, digging and probing until we came up with something.
She's right, you know.
Yeah, I know she is. Okay, let's do it the way Tremaine would have.
And he'd go by the book.
Yes, he'd examine everything we've got to date.
Looking for anomalies?
Loopholes?
Inconsistencies.
Let's start with Brading first. Now, I've been all over those files again.
Yes, all right. You find anything new?
Well, nothing that adds up to anything.
Sharon, you spoke to Brading's wife about the morning that he disappeared, yes?
That's right. It was a perfectly normal day. Except that he'd lost his briefcase.
Hmm?
George. He'd lost his briefcase the day before.
And he found it again. The mechanic mentioned George said he lost his briefcase, found it again. Okay. That leaves us with the medical report. It's a brand new drug, hallucinatory and... The briefcase.
When we were leaving the office. And then?
Okay? Yeah. Good. Nice to meet you. Tremaine here.
Internal security, sir. We still haven't been able to locate that briefcase of yours.
I see. Okay. Right. Thank you. Now remember, it's the why and the who, and particularly the who.
So Tremaine had lost his briefcase, too.
Security. Tremaine reported a lost briefcase to you? I see. Okay, thank you. He reported it lost this morning.
Brading and Tremaine.
Coincidence?
No, this is too close. No, you're right, Sharon. You said if we dug deep enough.
All right, so both victims lost a briefcase.
It's a common factor.
And where does it take us? They need the briefcase for some reason, so they steal it. They get close enough to... Richard, you know those pictures we took water skiing in Miami?
Yes.
Let me see them.
I don't see what that's got.
Come on, let me have a look. Lose your wallet?
Yes, I did.
Isn't a wallet a kind of miniature briefcase?
So soon?
I'm stepping up to pressure. Within a few days, Nemesis will be ours of fear, of suspicion. Friends will watch one another slant-eyed, wonder where the next blow is coming from, who will be the next victim.
The whole organization will totter.
Yes, and at the right time, we'll give it one last push. And Nemesis will be destroyed.
It must be neat. Tidily done.
It will be superbly done. Nemesis will be destroyed by its own impeccably efficient agents.
If the pattern fits, the next victim is you.
Thank you very much.
At least you'll be on your guard.
Against what?
The guy who bumped into you. Did you get a look at him?
I was preoccupied.
Some agent he is.
Well, if I'd known he was one of the dreaded wallet snatchers.
Okay. So we have to take the plan from here. Now, we have one ace that they don't know about.
How's that?
Richard's next on the list, agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Reluctantly?
Now, we don't know how or where they're going to try and pick him up, but it's for certain they'll do it when he's alone, out of contact.
But we're never completely out of contact.
That's the plan. You carry on as normal. Keep us informed.
Thank you, and good night.
How long?
He's a tough nut, putting up a good fight.
Don't fence with me, Doctor.
Maybe 24 hours, maybe less.
It is Monsieur Barrett, isn't it?
That's right, yes. What can I do for you?
Perhaps we can do something for you, Monsieur. I believe this is your property?
Come on. Hold it. Hold it. Thank you. Right.
We appreciate this, monsieur. We really do.
Let's get this straight. You've arrested a man.
With your wallet in his possession, along with many others. Obviously a pickpocket of some industry.
You any idea who it is? It could be important.
As yet, he has not been identified. Perhaps by the time we arrive at headquarters.
Headquarters? Where's that?
Not far. Sector 13. Unlucky for some.
It was a police car, remember?
Of course. Sector 13.
There's a map in the pocket down there.
close by.
I told you it was not far, monsieur.
Take the next turning on the left.
Captain in?
Yes.
Be kind enough, monsieur. Monsieur Barrett, will you come through, please?
Something's happened.
We'll soon find out what. Sector 13.
I tell you, we have no one here of that name.
Richard Barrett. He lost his wallet.
He is here somewhere. There is no one here. No one.
He was picked up by one of your men.
Who?
I don't know. A lieutenant.
That's right. He brought him back here. He brought him back here and he took him through that door.
Door, monsieur. Perhaps, monsieur, mademoiselle, you should wait a while. We can examine this problem more closely.
Don't do that.
For your own good, monsieur.
What is going on here, Lieutenant?
I'm trying to find out, sir. These people think we are holding a friend of theirs.
The friend's name?
Richard Barrett.
They say he was brought here by one of our men.
Why was he brought here?
I can't tell you that. He was working for Nemesis, just as we are.
Oh, monsieur, you did not say.
Barrett was following up a lead. It brought him to Sector 13.
You actually saw him enter this sector?
We were acting upon information received.
We're sorry to have bothered you, Captain. This whole thing has obviously been a mistake. All we gotta do now is find a phony police sector in Geneva.
And Richard.
You hit him too hard.
Not too hard. Just hard enough. He'll be out for an hour or two. This will give us time to commence the treatment.
Careful, please.
I know what I'm doing.
I meant the shirt sleeve. Sea Island cotton. London made, Jermyn Street. Perfect. So pristine.
As dilated, muscular contractions, comatose. He's entered phase 2.
And phase 3?
There isn't a phase 3.
Now look, I am really making progress. Richard was gone, what, 7-10 minutes? So the maximum area that he could have covered was 5 miles, would put it right there.
And how many buildings in that area?
Now look, I've narrowed it down to at least...
How many?
Maybe 10,000.
You call that progress?
Richard Barrett. Richard Barrett, born 1938 in Salisbury, in the county of Wiltshire. Is that correct? Is that correct, Richard? Richard? He's still resisting.
You gave him 3 grams.
And we'll increase the dose.
We'll kill him.
Not too soon. Not before he's accomplished what we want of him. Hold him. Grab his Sea Island cotton sleeve and hold him still.
No. No. No.
You are Richard Barrett.
I'm Richard Barrett.
That's right. And your mind is empty. Empty. All the thoughts are slipping away. Like sand through your fingers. Slipping away. And then a void. Nothing.
Richard?
I don't know. I thought for a moment that... but I'm not sure.
And your father. He was a good man.
He was a banker. My father was a banker.
That's right. He was good to you, Richard. And to your brother.
No, no brother.
Of course you have a brother, Richard. A younger brother. You often played together. You remember, Richard? How could you forget your brother, Richard? Your brother, Richard.
No, no.
Your brother. Remember your brother.
My brother.
And your father. Yes. A good, wise father.
Yes.
And both of them dead?
No.
Oh, yes. Both of them. They were murdered.
No.
Murdered. Richard. Cut down, destroyed. Murdered. Murdered. Murdered by this man. Look at him, Richard. Look at his evil face. The face of the man who destroyed them, who murdered your father and your brother.
Oh, did I just get a sudden cold shiver?
Did someone walk over your grave?
Yeah, exactly like that. Sharon, we're getting nowhere.
We have to try.
Look, we booved. We let him walk into a trap and then we lose him.
You knew what the risks were?
That's exactly the point. So did we.
1,000 streets, 10,000 buildings, and amongst all that, there is a room that is faked up to look like a police headquarters.
They must have slipped up somewhere, overlooked something.
Not these babies. They got it organized down to the last detail. The whole setup. Uniformed cops, police car.
Police car? They did overlook something, Craig. Us. Do you remember? When we were standing here looking out of this window, and we saw Tremaine walking back.
Yeah, I remember. What am I supposed to remember?
Oh, we were watching Tremaine, but there was something else happening down there.
You're right. There was a car pulling away.
Yes, a police car.
That's how they must have brought Tremaine back to the building.
Yes, he was walking back by some parked cars, and their first letter is G.
G. E34356.
It's your first job, Richard. You remember that first assignment, don't you? You were to meet an agent. Make contact. He was a good friend of yours, too. But you were betrayed. Betrayed. Your good friend was gunned down, and you got a glimpse of the killer as he ran off. Enough to recognize him again. It was this man. You remember, don't you? Richard, don't you? Yes, you remember. We're nearly there. It isn't easy, though. He's been fighting the drug all the way.
A losing battle.
Our system's infallible because it's simple. Early brainwashing techniques aim to subvert, to change a man's established way of life. We start further back. We remove all memory of what he was and give him an entirely new beginning.
A new childhood. A new background.
Yes, it is a fact that our formative years, our early upbringing, shape our character and our attitudes from there on.
I was thinking, what a twisted childhood you must have had.
Not as twisted as the one I'm feeding into Barrett.
You're feeding in. You couldn't do it alone. Not without the drug. Our nice new drug that floods the brain, washing it away, eroding, and finally destroying it.
Yes.
And that's the secret, Barker. A drug.
Let's finish the job.
Now you say it's registered to a K. Barker. Yeah. Now what's the address? Rue Saint-Justin. Right. Thank you very much.
You remember what he did to that girl of yours, don't you? You loved that girl, didn't you? But he took her away. He destroyed her. Him. You know what you have to do, don't you, Richard? You know.
I know what I have to do.
That's the car, okay. Now, all we have to do is find a building that might conceivably be tricked up to look like a police headquarters.
Jason?
Jason, time we joined the force again. But jump to it. Smarten yourself up.
for rent. Maybe. Just maybe.
Here's me. Thoroughly now.
Few more minutes. Let him sleep. He needs the rest.
If he's going to be fit for his next task, eh? I fetch the car.
Blood! I'm bleeding! My tunic! Oh, please, please!
Where's Barrett? Where's Barrett?
Don't mark me. Don't mark my face.
Mark it. I'll rearrange it for you. Where's Barrett?
In there.
Alone?
Where's alone?
Where's the drug? Where'd you keep it?
In there. In the cabinet in there.
I think the word is freeze. I'm not familiar with the vernacular. My home is far. I shall kill you. Both. Particularly in your case, Sterling. After I spent so much time preparing him. You're too late! Too late!
Richard? Hey.
now. Thank you.
And Richard?
He's going to be all right.
What have you done to yourself?
I had a lesson in equality. It's a long story.
Tell me about it later.